Hello, YouTube. My name is Big Boy Snatch on TV, aka what kind of snatch you want, because I got playing around. As you can tell by the title of the thumbnail, this is my AEW Dynamite 300 review on highlights. So, if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys please full watch the video from all the way from the beginning all the way towards the end. Hit that like button, subscribe to my channel for more wrestling content I do on the channel, where I give you guys the full breakdown of my review and not the half of my review. And go check out my WWE NXT review on highlights that I posted on the channel yesterday. Without further ado, let's get started. Now, AEW Dynamite was a pretty good show for what it was, and I give it a 5.6 out of 10. Now, AEW Dynamite was live from Ontario, California, Toyota Arena. It says, "It's Wednesday, my dudes, and for the 300 week, you know what that means. The show intro takes us to ringside, where Hangman Adam Page makes his way to a big pop from the crowd. Hangman Page says he's not going to waste much time here, as he's already said what he needed to. He promised to ride through death itself to win the AEW World Title at AEW All In Texas, and that is a vow he planned to keep. You would you would have to kill Page before he lets this chance by him, no, pass him by, and won't let the Elite or Death Riders stop him. He calls out John Moxley to give him everything or give him death by making this title match a Texas death match. And this brings out the champ accompanied by Maria Shafir as he heads through the crowd to make his way towards ringside. The crowd shows a hot the crowd shows a hot but mixed response to John Moxley as he arrives at ringside, now calling for a microphone from Maria Shafir before stepping through the ropes. So he says at All In, Page wants to put all the chips on the table. His health, his life, all on the line with the AEW World Championship in a Texas Death Match. No, 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 um, no. John Moxley says Page doesn't want that, even if he thinks he does. At All In, Page is going to lose because he doesn't want to win the title. He doesn't want to wake up Sunday morning in bed with the title. The reason Page won the On Hard tournament is because that's not the highest peak for him. The highest mountain through is not for Page. Plenty call themselves the best wrestler in the world, but that's basic and John Moxley is far from than that. He continues running down Page after the crowd tells him to shut the you know what up until Hangman clocks him square in the face. He pounces on the champion, pulling out a fork before Wheeler Yuta comes running in for the save. He takes a shot and he takes a shot to the head by Page instead, but Maurice Shafir managed to distract him with a series of slaps before Claudio comes in to take him down to the mat. Wheeler Yuta joins in the beatdown, propping, propping, propping Page against the corner before trying to choke him out as John Moxley and Maria Shafir retreat through the crowd. Claudio takes the hangman down with a neutralizer before he and Wheeler Yuta leave the ring to heavy boos. They focus much of their rage on Wheeler Yuta before Page gets back to his feet, grabbing a mic to poke fun at Claudio since he's still standing. This enraged Claudio Castagnoli, who makes his way back towards ringside before Samoa Joe pops up to intercept him. Wheeler Yuta joins him, but they are cut off by the arrival of Powerhouse Hobbs and Shibata. Page remains distracted by all this as Maria Shafir returns to the ring to try to hit him with the briefcase, but he stops her, grabbing the briefcase as he calls calls out John Moxley. He says that he's got something John Moxley, so give him Texas Devs. After some thinking over, John Moxley finally agrees to it, and and it, I'm sorry, John Moxley finally agrees to it. And in response, Hangman Page gives the briefcase back to Maurice Shafir. Alright, I apologize for something. I was trying to pronounce that. But let me continue. He starts to leave the ring before addressing John Moxley's remarks that Hangman doesn't have what it takes to go through Texas Death. He offers to show the champ that he does. In fact, have what it takes by delivering a buckshot lariat delivers a buckshot lariat on Maria Sheffield. That part was funny, and the crowd pops big as Page leaves the ring, regrouping with the ops on the ramp. So, Maria Shafir slaps Hangman and Page more than 2 times. So what Hangman Page do? He got his get back against Maria Shafir by hitting the buckshot on Maria Shafir, and that's all I gotta say. But that part was funny. But anyway, this was a good segment with the with Hangman Page and Death Riders. This was a good segment to start the show. High opening segment to kick off AEW Dynamite tonight. Like the promo work from Page and John Moxley here, all leading up to a big buzzshot lyric on Maria Shafir and the reveal that the All In Texas World Title match is now a Texas Death Match. All right, let me continue. Commentary hype up what went down before heading to a video with Timeless Tony Storm and one of the stars of the upcoming Superman film. They discussed nicknames for Rachel before we head back to ringside, where Tony Storm makes her entrance going to commentary for our opening contest. Mina Sakura makes her entrance followed by Mercedes Monet before this TBS title match gets underway. Alright, so we get the TBS Championship match. Mercedes Monet defends against Mina Sakura. And this match right here, I ain't gonna lie. That I ain't gonna lie, this match right here, this was a good match in my opinion. This was a good match. Mina starts going after the champ, but is immediately sent to the ropes by Mercedes Monet, who drives her boot into the face of the challenger. Mina fights back for a near fall as the crowd goes into the dueling "Let's Go Mina slash CEO" chant. Mercedes heads to the ropes, but is tripped up by Mina Sakura, who gets a 2 count for her own efforts. Maria, Mina, not Mina, I'm sorry. Mercedes Monet mocks Tony Storm at ringside before sending Mina to the ropes once more. But the challenger fights back with a Luther's press before keeping Mercedes Monet down on the mat. The champ heads to the corner where she fights back with a meteor on Sakura before sending her out of the ring. She mocks Tony Storm some more as we go to commercial break. We're back from commercial break. Mina is taking control of the match before clinching in a submission, only for the referee to intervene due to the foot being under the ropes. This gives the champ an opening as she clinches in a statement maker, but Mina rolls through, countering into a figure four leg lock. Mercedes struggled to break free before rolling towards the outside, which brings both women to the floor to force a break. Mercedes brings Mina onto the apron, but the challenger turns it around for a DDT off the apron, driving the head of Mercedes Monet to the floor. Mercedes gets back to her feet, however, rising to the apron to a deliver a meteor on Mina Sakura before sliding back into the ring as the referee counts of 8. Not long after, Mina Sakura managed to rush into the ring herself before sending the champ to the corner, only for Mercedes Moné to fight back with a meteor from the turnbuckle. Sunset Bomb connects, forcing the challenger to the corner before Mercedes Moné brings her in for a 2 count. The champ heads up the turnbuckle for another meteor, but is met with a counter by Mina into a kick to the head. Challenger locks in another figure for a leg lock, but Mercedes Moné reach over to grab the rope, but Mina Sakura breaks the hold as a result, but heads up top for a sling blade and a near fall. Mercedes Moné counters out with the glamorous driver, but Mina Sakura breaks free of a moneymaker to land some hard kicks on the head of the champ, spinning backflips, and a glamorous driver connects. But Mercedes Moné narrowly gets a shoulder up before the three. The fans are not pleased by this, as Mina Sakura has hits a knee, but only get a one count. Mercedes Moné counters back with a long blower, but struggles to capitalize, leaving both women on the mat. She crawls over for the cover, but only gets a two count. Exchange of holds, of holds, exchange of holds, and counters follow with Mercedes rolling up Mina Sakura tight for the three count to retain the TBS championship. The winner by pinfall is still your TBS champion, Mercedes Moné. This was a good match for what it was. Mercedes Moné beat up Mina Sakura some more to celebrate before escaping the ring when Tony Storm goes after her. She grabs some champagne from ringside, spilling it on Luther before retreating up the ramp, telling Tony her time is up and my time is now. Before commentary hypes up was to come later tonight on Dynamite. Earlier today, the Young Bucks celebrate coming home with a fancy founding fathers limo, and they look to go on a trip around Wakano Wakancho Kokomana, possible possibly the most expo expo what's that exposure this city gotten since a random Jack Benny bit. This segment ends with the pair looking to go to the mall before we go to commercial break. Back from commercial break, the tour continues as the young buck checks the mall out. We marked that it seems bigger years ago that they ought to go back in the limbo as we head back to ringside. MJF is the first to make their entrance for this fatal four-way match with AR Fox, Anthony Bones, and Brody King following as we get this match on the way. So we get for the number two entry in the Casino Gauntlet at AEW All In. MJF versus Brody King versus AR Fox versus Anthony Balance. And this fatal four way match right here, I ain't gonna lie, this was a fun fatal four way match for what it was. MJF tries to buddy up with Brody King by offering him money, but Brody King slams the stack on the mat. MJF leaves the ring out of frustration with the other three men follow him until the Hurt Syndicate steps in to offer a level of protection. Brody King decides to go after AR Fox and Anthony Bounce to get things rolling, leaving both of them against the barricade as MJF joins commentary for a break. We hear MVP offering some strategy as Brody King brings Anthony Bounce back into the ring, but AR Fox intervenes to send Brody King to the corner. AR Fox and Anthony Bounce work together to keep Brody King down before AR Fox go after the 5-tool player, nailing a double stomp on the apron before hitting a dive on Brody King on the outside. AR Fox goes back after Anthony Bowens before both find themselves on the outside just as Brody King hits a top on the both of them. MJF sees his opening and brings AR Fox back in the ring for the cover as we go to a full commercial break on Max before seeing how it pans out. All right, so we go to commercial break. Back from commercial break, I am left to assume MJF only got a near fall, but he is still in control until Brody King comes into the ring, laying into him with a chop. Anthony bounces back at it, landing some kicks on Brody King before AR Fox intervenes. This allows MJF to get some shots but AR Fox comes after him as well before he and Anthony Bounce looks to split the playing field. All four men are down until Anthony Bounce sends MJF to the corner, only to be met with Brody King. Anthony Bounce fights back, sending Brody King away before hitting a DDT on AR Fox for a 2 count. AR Fox turns things around, sending Anthony Bonds and Brody King out of the ring before landing a rolling brainbuster on MJF for a near fall of his own. Brody King is back and takes out AR Fox before catching Anthony Bonds for a side slam. Cannonball connects on Anthony Bonds and AR Fox, but MJF managed to evade before it landed a knee on Anthony Bonds and AR Fox. Arm wrench forced AR Fox to the mat, but MJF turns his attention to a still down Brody King for a near fall. He grabs a chair from ringside looking to use it, but before Brody King lands a right hand, driving the chair into driving the chair driving the chair what was I? It said driving the chair into the face of MJF and falls in front of AR Fox and Anthony Bounce in the corner, allowing Brody King to land a cannonball on all three of them before covering MJF for a 2 count. MJF starts to fight back, but a set of cutters allows Brody King to take control for another close near fall. AR Fox managed to fight out before landing a 450 splash on Brody King, but Brody King gets the shoulders up. Anthony Bounce gets taken out by MJF, who yells Brody King sucks before going for a heat seeker, but Brody King blocks it, taking MJF out with a sleeper instead. Anthony Bounce catches Brody King off guard, getting a near fall in the process. MJF managed to take advantage of the chaos that follows, locking in Salt of the Earth on AR Fox for the win. Um, the winner of the match by submission, MJF. This was a fun fatal four-way match. The celebration is cut short by Mark Briscoe, who calls out MJF for a talk, talkie talk, talkie talk next week. This gets a chant from the crowd as Just Speed makes their way out to confront the Hurt Syndicate, who confront the Hurt Syndicate only for Shelton Benjamin and Bobby Lashley to level Bailey and Knight while MVP and MJF watch from ringside. They go right back after the pair with Bobby Lashley landing a dominator on Bailey to add a pu- punch punctuation mark on the statement made. The Hurt Syndicate regroups on the ramp, but Knight grabs a microphone to point out they are still alive, and if they want to keep those titles, they're going to have to kill Just Speed. He runs down the pair before Kevin challenges Sean Benjamin to a match on Collision. Her syndicate music plays as we go to commercial break. Crazy but fun fatal four-way match here. MJF picking up the win is interesting, but even more interesting to me, anyways, is the continued feud with Mark Briscoe. Good stuff from Jespy as well to continue their feud with the Hurt Syndicate. Hashtag AEW Dynamite. So we go to commercial break. We head to the parking lot as the Young Bucks have returned to their custom limo, now dressed and geared for their match later tonight, or rather, up next as their music hits to bring us back to ringside. The pair makes their way out first for this hero versus villain trios match. The hometown crowd cheered for them as Kazuchika Kanusuke Takeshita makes his way out next. Paragon, Kyle Riley, and Roger Strong make their entrance next, followed by the Ring of Honor World Champion as Bandito walks with them down the ramp to get to the ramp. Get to the ring. I'm sorry. With our heroes and villains of the match all in the ring. We get things underway. So we get heroes versus villains presented by Superman, Kanusuke Takeshita, and the Young Bucks, Matthew Johnson and Nicholas Jackson versus Bandito, Roger Strong, and Kyle O'Reilly. And this trios match right here, um, this was um, uh, this was um, this was good. This was a good tag team match right here. We start things off by Bandito and Takeshka, the latter taking control before Bandito hits an arm drag. Kanusuke fights back with a fury of offense before making the tag to Nicholas, who gets the jump on the Ring of Honor World Champion before tagging Matthews in. The Young Bucks double team Bandito, but Kyle comes in to intervene. They take O'Reilly and Kyle they chase Kyle Riley and Roger Strong down before going back after Bandito, who makes the tag to Kyle Riley. Kyle Riley takes the fight to Matthews before a tag is made to Nicholas, but this gives Kyle Riley an opening to tag Roger Strong in the corner as they continue to fight. It leads to a set of dives from Bandito and Takeshita forcing a six-man to the floor as we go to commercial break. Back from commercial break, Bandito is taken down hard by Nicholas before making a tag to Roger Strong. Roger Strong takes Nicholas and Kanushka to the mat before landing a series of elbows on Matthews, only for Nicholas to finally tag himself back into the match. He takes Roger Strong out before going after Kyle Riley and Benito, but Kyle Riley goes after him with a guillotine choke for before Matthews counters with a local motion suplex. Bandito hits the ropes, but it's met with a blue thunder bomb by Takeshita. The crawl over to their respective corners as they finally get tagged into the match, but a powerbomb by Kanushka leads to a 2 count. Chaos ensues as all six men go at it, leading to a big suplex off the turnbuckles by Bandino for a 2 count, only to catch up before it gets broken up. Bandito goes for a 21 pecs and Nicholas only for it to get blocked. Allow the Young Bucks and Takeshita to double team the Ring of Honor World Champion for a close near fall. Tag made to Kyle Riley as Paragon go to work on Takeshita and the Young Bucks. Kyle Riley locks in the guillotine on the Alpha, but he powers out before Kyle Riley catches him with a child block. Series of super kicks and a big strike from Kanusuke, but Kanusuke allows for a triple EVP trigger, with the Young Bucks sending out Roger Strong and Medina while Takeshita hits Raging Fire on Kyle Riley for the win. The winner by pinfall. The winner of the match, Kanusuke Takeshita and the Young Bucks, Matthew Johnson and Nicholas Jackson. This was a fun. This was a good trio tag team match. The celebration is cut short by the arrival of Will Ospreay with Swerve Strickland, who still want the Young Bucks to put their EVP titles on the line in a match at All in Texas. Swerve Strickland clarifies that he and Will Ospreay don't want to become EVPs. He doesn't trust Will Ospreay with that type of power, but to give the title to the people, as Tony Khan is the one truly in charge. Will Ospreay runs them down some more before Matthews interjects, saying, "No, as they didn't even know what the Young Bucks get out of this match." Will Ospreay has something to offer, telling Swerve Strickland to trust him as he gives them an offer. If the Young Bucks accepts a beat Will Ospreay and Swerve Strickland, they cannot challenge for the world title for 1 year. This rounds up Swerve Strickland, who has it out with Ospreay. As Matthew Jackson says, they willing to accept if Swerve Strickland is on the same page. Swerve Strickland is a very we could chant, but says he's on board as well as this match is made official. But Swerve Strickland and Will Ospreay has still has things out as the as Max Fest very briefly cuts to black before we go to commercial break. Really enjoyed the trios match, but man, it's that promo after something else. I've been wondering what kind of stakes will be up for grabs if the Young Bucks face Swerve Strickland and Will Ospreay. And the idea of Will Ospreay and Swerve Strickland not challenging for the world title for a year is definitely. So we go to commercial break. We get a video showing partnership between AEW and the upcoming Superman film, featuring the film's Superman and Lex Luthor alongside Kenny Omega and MJF. Back at ringside, Will Ospreay and Swerve Strickland are still having words with each other as LF makes their entrance, or maybe not bother, as they rush Will Ospreay and Swerve Strickland in the ring to get things underway. So we get heroes versus villains presented by Superman. Will Ospreay and Swerve Strickland versus the Beast Mataros and Dralistico. And this match right here, this was a decent tag team match. Mataros and Swerve Strickland to go at it, with Swerve Strickland getting the upper hand, even after Dralistico tries to intervene. He's destroying Swerve Strickland by going after Prince Nada. And this gives Mataros the opening to send Swerve Strickland to the outside as we go to commercial break. Back from commercial break, Swerve Strickland finally managed to regain control as he sends Mataros to the corner before making the tag to Will Ospreay, who lays into the Beast Mataros and Dralistico to a big pop. The LF the LF heads to the outside, but that gives Will Ospreay the opening for a Sasuke special before bringing Mataros back in the ring for a 2 count tag made to Dralistico. The LFI double team Will Ospreay for a near fall after a near fall as Swerve Strickland breaks up the pin before taking a DDT. Dralistico Will Ospreay takes him down, but is dropped by the Beast Mataros for a near fall by LFI. Will Ospreay lands a perfect bomb to fight back, setting the Beast Mataros up for a combo Storm Zero, Sniper Swerve Stomp, before taking down Drelisko with a Styles Clash and a house call for the pinfall and the win. The winners by pinfall Will Ospreay and Swerve Strickland. This was a decent tag team match. A bit of a crazy and slightly short tag match, but I thought it was a good follow up to the segment that preceded good little showing from LFI, but another case of not exactly going to see Swerve Strickland Will Ospreay lose so close to all in RE. Haha at hashtag AEW Dynamite. Commercial break. Back at ringside, there's been enough talk. It's time for our Dynamite 3000 main event. Out versus Kabuta Ibushi to a good pop from the crowd for this first match back in AEW in quite some time. Out next is Kazuchika Okada, accompanied by Don Callis, as we are reminded of the history between these two before this match gets underway. So we get the main event of the evening. So we get Kota Ibushi versus Kazuchika Okada. This was a good main event match, what it was. Somewhat justified holy you know what chance from the crowd before these two men even lock up, with Okada sending Ibushi to the ropes, only for Kota to force him away with the Rainmaker, leaving the ring for a breather. He gets back in the ring and the pair lock up, ending up in the ropes where the referee intervenes to force a break. Okada evade a roundhouse kick to take another breather on the outside. He gets back in for a set of strikes on Ibushi set of strikes on Ibushi, taking him to the mat before Ibushi starts to fight back. This ends with Kota sending Okada to the outside once more, this time landing a springboard axe handle on the Rainmaker before going into it with Lance Archer at commentary. He charges back at Okada, who sends Ibushi into the ring steps with a drop toe hold as we go to a full commercial break. Back from commercial break, Okada is back in control as he sends Ibushi to the corner, but Kota dodges an elbow strike before taking the Rainmaker down with a drop kick. Both men are down as the referee begins to count, but are pretty quick to get back up before Ibushi takes Okada down with a hard kick. He keeps Okada down to the appreciation of the crowd as soon as Okada is back up to his feet. Back up, he faces a set of palm strikes and kicks only to take Ibushi down with a drop kick of his own for a near fall. Ibushi is back up and charging at Okada with a knee strike for a near fall of his own. Before Okada strikes back to turn the tide in his favor, Carvat hold on Ibushi, who fights to his feet and sends Okada to the corner, only to get caught with a neck breaker by the Rainmaker. He brings Ibushi back up for a scoop slam before climbing up for an elbow drop, mocking the crowd before setting Ibushi up to his feet. Okada sends him to the corner, but he fought back by Okada, who lands some hard forearm strikes on the Golden Star. Kota takes his lick, but fights back to his feet, sending Okada to the corner for a fury of offense before the referee intervenes. Rainmaker Lariat is avoided, allowing Ibushi to take Okada down with a lariat of his own. Ibushi goes up top, but it's intercepted by Okada, who lands a German suplex before going for a Rainmaker Lariat again, only to be dropped with a roundhouse kick by Ibushi. He sets Okada up on the turnbuckle, landing an av- av- avalanche tiger driver for the pin, but not the win. As Okada kicks out just in the nick of time, Okada clutches Ibushi for a near fall of his own before Ibushi goes for one more. Okada blocks Ibushi on the ropes before landing a lariat and a drop kick, and finally connects with the Rainmaker lariat for the victory. The winner by pinfall, Kazuchika Okada. This was a good main event match for what it was. Don Callis joins Okada in the ring for the celebration as the commentary hypes up the Unified Champion match at AEW All in Texas. Rocky Ramone and Lance Archer get in the ring looking for a beatdown on Ibushi until Kenny Omega comes out for the save. Big pop for Kenny Omega as he runs into the ring with a chair, forcing the family out of the ring. Trent Beretta tries to sneak into the ring with a steel bar, but it's cut off by Ibushi. The Golden Lovers hug it out in the ring as the Don Callis family holds back Okada, who shouts at his rival before they head to the ramp as AEW 300 comes to a close. Um, Hell of a main event. It says hello main event here between Okada and Ibushi. As someone aware of the New Japan history, this was a nice match to revisit within AEW, even as both men are in different praise of their life-size career. Great back and forth landing to the win of Okada in a nice post match, which is I agree with that. Overall, this was a pretty strong episode of AEW Dynamite that put a bit of focus on the in-ring action. And after last month's extensive programming blocks, it was nice to have a good tight 2 hour of TV again, which is I agree with that. A solid celebration of 300 episode as AEW is one step closer on, and AEW Dynamite 300 goes off the air. All right, let me get my honest opinion what I think about AEW Dynamite 300. Now I'm just gonna be honest, and let me get my honest opinion about it. Now, AEW Dynamite 300 was a pretty good show for what it was, and I give it a 5.6 out of 10. So, if you guys enjoy my AEW Dynamite 300 review on highlights, make sure you guys please watch the video from all the way from the beginning all the way towards the end. Hit that like button, subscribe to my channel for more rest content that I do on the channel like this, where I give you guys a full breakdown of my review and not the half of my review. Go check out my WWE NXT review and highlights. Follow my social media down below in the description. And I will see you guys live on Twitch for some retro gaming live on Twitch. It is time for me to get Twitch. It is time for me to get to Twitch affiliate in 2025, and I know I can do it. This your boy, B-Boy Snatch on TV, aka Wakanda Snatch One, because I got playing around. Have a great night. Stay safe and always stay positive. Kept your crew, kept your kings, kept your club. Too sweet. I'm out of here. Gang. Mwah. Bang. Too sweet. Gang.